In the morning, in Aguas Caliente, we have some time to kill, waiting for the afternoon train back to Ollantaytambo. So we spend the time in the gardens of our hotel, Inkaterra, photographing the hummingbirds. Then a hotel staff member takes us to the orchid gardens. Peru is home to over 3,000 species of orchids. But it's not only orchids in the garden, but many other native flowering plants. And there are some ancient petroglyphs. And that brings us to the heart of the orchid garden. There is an amazing variety of sizes and forms. We would have missed these tiny orchids if our guide hadn't pointed them out to us. Then we're back to the main garden, and it's almost time for our train. Back in Aguas Caliente, we have just a few minutes for some last-minute souvenirs to remember Machu Picchu by. Then it's back on the train, headed to Cuzco. We get off the train at Ollantaytambo to explore a little more of the Urubamba Valley. Michelle points out some things we missed on the way to Machu Picchu, like this Inca tomb. The Incas shaped this hill to look like a frog, a fertility symbol. Along the road, we see these sticks with what looks like a plastic bag on them. We ask Michelle, and he says, "The chicha's ready. Let's stop." It's an Urubamba tavern serving Cuy and Chica. Cuy are guinea pigs to us. But to the Inca, they were a staple protein, and now they're bar snacks. Our host proudly presents our Cuy, well roasted over an open fire in the old way. Michelle explains that Chicha is a beer brewed from corn. Each tavern has its own special recipe, which is fermented in these pottery jars. The secret is in the corn. Peru grows an amazing number of varieties. While we enjoy our chicha, we inspect the home altar, complete with an ancestral skull to look over the activities. We try our hand at a traditional bar game, El Sapo, the frog. The idea is to toss gold coins into the frog's mouth. We leave the Cuy wondering who's going to be next. We're stopping in the town of Urubamba to visit Ceremonica's Seminario. It's a ceramics workshop with motifs based on ancient Peruvian styles and designs with a contemporary influence. We get a look at the whole process, from the forming and etching of the unfired ceramic, painting on the glaze, and then finishing the fired piece. We had to have some of these plates with decorations inspired by Peruvian tradition. Michelle points out the Inca cross in the courtyard as we leave. Then back through the Urubamba Valley to Cuzco. We're back at the Libertador Hotel for the night. In the morning, we head to a hill north of Cuzco called Sacsayhuamán. The citadel built by the Incas in the 15th century. The longest of the walls is 400 meters long. The precision of the stonework is amazing. The stone are so closely fitted that a piece of paper can't slide between them. Michel asks us to find the llama in the stonework. Michel leads us down a path and through an archway and into a cave. This is a sacred place where the dead were prepared to be mummies. Back in the light, we get a panoramic view of modern Cuzco filling the valley below. Not far from Sacsayhuamán is Cristo Blanco, a 26-foot tall statue of Jesus Christ overlooking the city. One more look back at Sacsayhuamán's walls as we head back down into the city. We see our next destination below, the central square of Cuzco. Cuzco Cathedral commands the central square. It was built between 1560 and 1654. We spend quite a bit of time here looking at the huge collection of colonial art, but no pictures allowed. Not far from the main square is the Convent of Santo Domingo. It was built on top of Concha, the most important temple in the Inca capital. The Inca stonework can still be seen in the cloisters. This Inca altar is in one of the original rooms. This small fitted stone is the smallest in all the Inca walls. We leave the convent and head to our last meal together. We head home in the morning. We celebrate a great trip with a meal of Peruvian specialties and a music and dance performance. We've seen most of these dances before in Lima. But this one is new, Diablada, the dance of the devils. Spoiler alert, the angels defeat the devils by the end of the dance. Well, that wraps up our adventures in Peru, from the jungles of the Amazon to the mysteries of Machu Picchu, from the modern city of Lima to an all too short taste of the history of Cuzco.